Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. This is Vane and Small. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this playthrough of Deliver Us Home prototype demo. I'm sure some of you might have got to learn that Deliver Us Home is the next project on the radar for KeokeN Interactive. For those of you who don't know, well, let's just start off by saying that first and foremost, I apologize for any sound quality or noise, background noise that you might hear or anything like that, and also for the fact that I'm not recording myself on a webcam based infrastructure. This is kind of the first time I had to do like a voiceover for a game. A lot of my other playthroughs I've done mostly no commentary, and I adopt a kind of cinematic, stealthy, depending on what type of game it is, playstyle. And so for Deliver Us Home, you know, I've sort of played these games by heart, the previous two games, Deliver Us the Moon and Deliver Us Mars. Very much enjoyed playing these games, and absolutely love the storyline. And also, pardon me if you kind of hear my voice is a bit muffled. I've been a bit sick the last couple of days, up to like a week or two ago. I kind of contracted something from my dear wife, unfortunately. Everybody's kind of down and out now right now, but we are in a recovery path, and so yeah, we hope to get better soon. But anyway, sticking to the storyline, I'm sort of an advocate for when it comes to climate change and the way that these games have depicted, you know, the current world crisis when it comes to climate change. And not only that, a lot of our political differences across the world. I mean, we can just go down the list of all the conflicts that are happening in this world. And yes, this is just a game, and yes, it just depicts fictional events happening, but I feel tying into reality as things are currently standing, I know we can learn a lot from. There's a lot of life lessons to be learned that I can take away from it. So yeah, thank you very much for joining in on this playthrough. I'm gonna try and play as comprehensively as I can from what I've got to learn of this game. And I have to say, I call it a game. It's really just a demo, but I want to call it a game because I mean what the guys at KeokeN have been able to come up with in such a short space of time. This is like a game at a full-blown game at a smaller scale, and I'm very stoked, very amazed about how these guys were able to do this with only a four-man crew, and I mean with their workforce significantly reduced, unfortunately. All I can say is I hope for the best for them. I wish them all the best with their current project and everything that they want to do in their future endeavors, because I feel that with what they've been able to accomplish, this is amazing. This is amazing. So let's start this whole process. I'm not going to comment too much. With my experience, I might mention a thing or two here and there as we go along. I have provided the team at KeokeN a few suggestions that I might see as opportunities for improvement based off of what we've experienced from the prior two games, and then fast forward to now, where this game is depicted in the 23rd century. And I've identified a couple of, I would say, limitations, since if we go along with the playthrough of this game, you'll slowly but surely start realizing the magnitude and the scale of the map we find ourselves in. And so there is a few opportunities for improvement, but like I said, the game in its current state, current revision, the build that they've sort of, you know, have it at this point in time, this is very early stages. And I am very, very privileged and honored actually to have been provided with a copy of this prototype demo where I'm able to play this and share my feedback, my thoughts and my experience as I go along, where this is still due to be released to the general public. As you know, they are busy with their Kickstarter campaign. For those that also don't know, they are trying to raise funds to fund the project in its entirety, so that this can become another success in this story as they grew in the last 10 years with their prior two games. Deliver Us the Moon, Deliver Us Mars were two very successful games built on the Unreal Engine 4 technology. I believe they want to try and deliver us home on the latest Unreal Engine version 5. But we'll see how things go along, and for now their focus is mainly PC. They have made it very clear that they want to be able to do this on as many platforms as possible. But for now, with the limitations on hand, I feel that starting from PC is a very good starting point. You can always optimize further down. I mean, the lower platforms, obviously you get platforms that need optimization, such as consoles and handheld devices. And so starting from PC, where I would say the performance is pretty much unlimited based on what your hardware can support and the settings that you crank it to, it's a good starting point to get this out. Anyway, that's just from a hardware perspective, but from an audience perspective, I guess, I mean, this is a good starting point for them. I feel that will set their standard pretty high going forward, and I believe this is a very, very good way of publishing a game like this, as they did with their private projects as well. So right now, I'm gonna try and get through this playthrough with as less hassle as possible, and I might just comment here and there about my experience. From what we can see, if we open up the Astro tool, there's some collectibles. I've been able to find all of them except for one. I think it's this, there's 3 holograms throughout the whole demo. After the second one, there is a little collectible, which I believe to be what we call an Eden Enterprises tag. I haven't been able to definitively confirm this because I can't find this collectible anywhere. I might just mistake it for something else that is actually not an Eden tag. I don't know, but we'll see as we go along. But yeah, for the amount of times that I've been able to play this game, I'll call it a game, it's really a demo, but I could just not find that collectible. Anyway, we'll see how we go and progress along. And right now, as we open this, we can actually find our first collectible, which is an Eden Enterprises tag. As you've read probably from the campaign description of this game, if we now open up this Astro tool, it sits as one of the collectibles. Eden Enterprises is kind of the dominant entity that has kind of taken, I wouldn't say take over, but they've been identified as a fully fledged productionized entity that is able to advance space exploration in the time that this game is depicted, which is the 23rd century, and sending along astronauts to different regions of space in order to identify a habitable planet for them to live on. So without any further ado, let's just crack on. Let's see, I think got a few. So this crafting system is in my opinion actually amazing. I mean, I've mentioned to the team that, I mean, if you think about your mainstream games, your AAA games like Cyberpunk and Starfield is quite a big one. Metro Exodus, and that's obviously just being able to upgrade your arsenal of weapons and weaponry and inventory. The Last of Us is also another one where you're also able to craft weapons and such, but this, in this case, being a space game, being able to craft upgrades and material to upgrade your assets is pretty awesome. I think there's a menu over here with all your crafting materials, and as we collect different materials, we are able to craft specific items in order to progress the game, I believe, in order to upgrade a piece of tech, whether it be your suit, possibly the ASE unit, your ASE companion unit, or maybe the rover, I don't know. For now, I believe your suit is one of the main aspects, one of the main products within the game that you are able to upgrade. And so what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna linger and rove around the map to collect whatever I can in terms of collectibles, materials, etc. Just to kind of give you a full scope overview of the size of these maps. well, I would say just one map really, since we are within the borders of a specific part of this so-called planet. Keo 394e, I believe is what it's called. It's titled right over there. So I think this planet, it's well deserved to call it that, since this is probably a time within this astronaut running on this plane of field over here, trying to explore this planet based off of his crash-landed escape pod over there. Being a demo, I'm still trying to put my head together on what the story is, how it's tying in with the previous games. I know the guys at KeokeN mentioned you don't have to play the previous 2 games to enjoy the experience of this game, which, true, I believe one can do. But still, the target of my focus point really is the story, because that's what made the previous 2 games so amazing. And I'm very interested to see what the guys are going to come up with as a recipe for a conclusion for this game, if we can call it that even, since this is now possibly going to be forming part of the ultimate trilogy of these games. Deliver us the moon, deliver us Mars, and deliver us home. I don't think there's any crafting material to be located within this region. We've now reached a point where this is pretty much this part of the map done. We are able to come back here, it seems. We can jump back over these containers. There's another collectible we are able to scan. What happened here? I guess we'll find out as we progress, eh? Don't want to give anything away as we go along, but what I mentioned is that we can come back to this area, but there's not much left to do. There's actually nothing that we can do further. It doesn't serve any further purpose for the rest of the demo. So yeah, there are a few of these boxes scattered. Another Eden tag. This is someone else's. And so it seems like our astronaut over here is looking for one of his partners, I believe. Since it clearly mentions it's not a specific person's, but he's looking for a specific person. I think if we can interpret it as such. What I wanted to mention is that this little box, I think it's kind of like a cache of items. Multitude of items that you can grab once you've opened them. So here we are in the next area. I think I have climbed on top of this part already, and there's nothing that we can collect over here. What you probably would have noticed in the prior section, we were able to gather some floral plant materials, and now we are able to actually collect some rocks. They are actually beneath the ground, but they do show up as miniature, well, cut down rocks once you have cut them with your laser cutter, and then you are able to pick them up as part of your arsenal of crafting materials. And so it seems like the objective is to continue our search for signs of life on Keo 394e, this so-called planet name, which doesn't have a definitive name. I think we've missed a piece of rock over there. And so this is what I meant when I say they are cut down versions of the big piece of rock you actually do cut. I think, yeah, every now and again you get 3 cut down rocks. Now and again it's 1 or 2. There's another one over there. Let's just grab all of them. So, as you can see, we can walk and we can sprint. The sprint is not really that fast. That's one of the things that I've kind of identified, where you cannot get to where you want to go very quickly without having been able to do it with a set of wheels. And so hint hint, therein lies the next stage of one's explorative events and efforts in trying to get materials so that you can fix something that has actually have been broken down. I'm not going to mention what it is, you probably know what it is, but we'll get there when we get there. But as you can see, that running on foot, based off if we zoom into some portions of the map like that, it's quite big. I mean, for a demo, they've come up with something quite large in scale, for starters. So there's another thing that happens if I try to get over these branches. I mean, these stumps, these tree stumps. It almost feels like a gut punch. You want to get over it. It does climb over, but sometimes if you jump, oh, I think it happened like that. Yeah, so if I press jump, it's almost like you want it. The guy wants to jump over it, but he first wants to climb it before he jumps it. So it's like mid-air, he's like having to grab part of it, and many a times I've tried to do this, and then it feels like someone's kicking me in my gut as I go along. But no worries, I guess it's just part of the camp mechanics. I believe in Deliver Us Mars even, that is an ever-present mechanic wherever you go. So it's not as though it's a bug or an issue or something new. It has been in the prior games. Well, in this case, just Deliver Us Mars and Deliver Us the Moon. I think Deliver Us the Moon also has it. That kind of gut-punching feeling. In this case, exploring a planet such as this, unknown territory, one will be able to experience that more often. Yeah, anyway, so what I wanted to say was, what is that? There's a place over there, there's a place over there, and I believe down the road, there's a piece of road over there, there's a place down there. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Don't want to spoil the surprise elements of this game for those that are watching. And right now I'm just running around collecting random materials, and I'm trying to gather all of them, because we don't know if we will need them further down the line. To craft some essentials, really, if we look at this list of samples and stuff that we need to do. Our first objective really seems to be exploring this outpost location. Before we go inside, let's just travel around it, see what we're getting over here. Oh, there's a few items. Well, there's definitely an interior to be explored, which we'll get to momentarily, but I just wanted to walk around this part of the map before we progress into the actual building itself. And here's also, seems like a garage or some sort, or some kind of facility to be opened via keypad. So what I found with this demo is that you cannot progress past certain points if you have not done a few things in order to do that. But you are free to roam the map in its entirety wherever you want to go. It's just pointless to go at some places of the map if you haven't done something to progress part of the game, part of the story, if we can call it that. So let's just first go into this outpost building and see what we have. Okay, so there's a few scannable items already as part of our collectibles. A few items to be gathered. It seems we've acquired some thrusters. Why? Why would that be? Well, it seems we need to find something. And we are looking right at the path we need to follow to get it. And so we'll do that in just a moment. Let's just see what we can find. So this is, I think, also another issue where your objectives kind of overlays what you find. If you look at some kind of, you know, with Deliverance Mars, you were able to find Astro tools with conversations between two parties. It's almost like a smartphone viewing their little chat box. Now this is something I haven't seen in Deliverance Mars do this. Guessing this is just a very, very minor issue where the objectives is kind of in the way of the text you need to read. And it actually stays there, I believe. It does disappear, so yeah, now well, it does show up and it stays there once you've sort of achieved those objectives as you progress along. So that's not a real big problem. I'm guessing if you do have a problem with it, that's just subjective, I guess. It's another piece of collectible. I mentioned at the start of this playthrough that there's one objective that's kind of avoiding me and I have to jump on top of this table that seems to get these little items over. There's no way of getting them from a distance, or well, just standing there to get them. You have to kind of get closer, and the only way to get closer is to jump on top of it. The table, quite awkward, but it's fine. And so if we interact with, yeah, seems like the radio is broken, and it's another piece of objective that has been presented as part of the list. And as we go along, these objectives will start tallying up. As soon as you start achieving them one by one, they'll start disappearing, I think. Okay, we need this piece as part of the suit upgrade. I think if we access the menu now, yeah, we'll be able to see them over there. I don't think we are able to take away those objectives. Skill tree, no. Display objectives. Well, they don't disappear for some odd reason. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Almost certain that they were able to disappear, or we were able to toggle them. Nevertheless, let's progress. Yeah, so the radio we aren't able to access right now or use since it is broken. There's definitely some tech in there that looks quite suspicious in terms of what we need to start finding now throughout the rest of the map. So let's go and explore further. Our first objective is to investigate the outpost, which we did. Still saying we need to investigate it, because there's one part of the puzzle within that building we have not accessed yet, and that's the keypad location that we were prior to going into the building itself. The next objective is what's in the box, find a way in. And so another one is an expected friend, find an active AC unit, so it does tell you what to do, and so we need to do that. So we can't actually jump that. This piece of tech that we require in order to help us navigate the map a bit more from elevated levels. And that's a one good thing that I like though. If you jump from a distance, if you are just able to reach a certain edge object, the astronaut kind of grabs it and jumps onto it, which is nice. That I like. Sometimes you do miss part of that with mere inches, and you just fall down to whatever abyss there is. Okay, so right now, need to do something that the team at KeokeN, sort of kind of a play experience, kind of tried to identify and showcase. It's got this new element. Yeah, this is something we need to be careful of. I think I kind of, there's another piece of rock here somewhere. Yeah, it's looking me in the face right there. Forgot to collect. Cut down and collect. I think that's pretty much it for this region. Further up, there will be more crafting materials, but once again, I said I don't want to get too far ahead of myself over here. Okay, before we progress, I'd like to mention that, like I said, this is the first time I've had to do voiceover in terms in commenting on a game such as this. Like I said, I want to call it a game, but it's really just a demo, and so that's reason why I'm doing this, is for the demo purposes of it, so I can provide kind of a feedback on my experience, so that the team at KeokeN can possibly use to improve the game further. The demo. And so with my prior walkthroughs, I've never really done a commentary in terms of providing feedback as I'm playing along. So part of me, if I'm a bit fresh to this, I'm really trying to do my best. Okay, so that's the thing I try to do, is if I try to collect everything there is to collect. I'm trying to share that experience with you all, to try and show you that this is what the demo is capable of so far, but really just as part of the enjoyable experience that I actually have gotten to point really is just that, you know, see what I can do with this entire map. And I like to get to elevated positions in order to see my path and see the landscape, the routes that I need to follow, the possible places I can go. And that's why I'm saying that what the team have come up with is this is out of this world, really, how they've been able to do this with their limited capacity in order to do that. This is unprecedented, really, for a small team. I'm just walking around certain parts of this building. I've already kind of walked around it before, and so there are places where it looks as though you can get items, but there's nothing really you can gather. It's almost like it teases you to go here, go there, but there's nothing really there, at least from what I could find. Also, there's something that pops up over here, this little, you'll probably see this little crosshair popping up over there, almost as though you can kind of laser cut something over here, but there's nothing. I think it's just at the top side of the building once we do enter it. Just the reason why that does pop up. I think there's something on this platform over here. Yeah. Piece of alloy. Just have a look at our crafting materials so far, and so yeah, I've actually neglected to do this. Let's upgrade our suit. I've now acquired an ignition module that enables me to jump a little higher. They call it a double jump in midair. Another piece of tech we need to gather, I think, which is in this building, I believe, is the ASE thrusters. Well, it's not the thrusters themselves, but a piece of material. I think it's a battery that we need to acquire in order to craft that piece of material, which in this case is called thrusters. Before we enter the building once again, let's just try and get in this, just get the full scope of this building. And so we've acquired some sediment and some material over there. There's nothing really on this building, at least on the rooftops anyway. Also, I forgot to jump onto the rooftops of the outdoors building, but there's also nothing there. This was all of my effort in trying to find whatever materials and collectibles I can, because there's, like I said, that one collectible that's kind of avoiding me. I've just struggled so hard to find it, and I still can't find it, but I guess we'll find it though. There is an Easter egg, which I don't know, for those that haven't been part of the streaming sessions that KeokeN has presented on their Twitch platform. They've kind of presented us with a little Easter egg. And I for one thought that that Easter egg is one of the missing collectibles that I've been trying to look for so hard, but it doesn't. If you do grab it, it doesn't actually save or list as part of it. And the reason I think it's an KeokeN Enterprises tag is if you look at the icon, it's almost like these different folders or pages in line. All of them are presented with that specific icon, and so this is an KeokeN tag, this is an KeokeN tag. I think it's when we get to this part, I believe, after the second hologram, right after the second hologram, that's the piece of collectible I've been trying to search for and just can't find it. For the life of me, I don't know where it is. And so having the same icon as the rest of the KeokeN tags, I believe it is an KeokeN Enterprises tag. That's what makes me so sure, but I am unable to prove it at this point. Also another glimpse of our final, I would say, not a final objective, but one of the objectives. I wonder what that is in the distance. Another Astro Tool conversation, or I would say chat box. That's part of one of the collectibles. Simply cannot remember if one accesses this Astro Tool and this overlaying ticks. I can't remember if it does overlap like that. I know the objectives does stay there until they are completed one by one. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, so this is important. Seems like dots and dashes for Morse code. They are situated in a way that is sequential, so as to enter a code somewhere. I wonder where. Right, so I guess we've gathered everything we were able to gather. The specific building. Right now we need to run back to the outpost. I think at this point in time we have gathered our battery to craft our thrusters, which we need for, well, it's called ASE, so that's actually a dead giveaway, but yeah, still the question is why. And we also need to craft our radio antenna. As we recall, our radio is kind of out of order and we need to be able to fix it so that we can do something with it. Whoops. That's another thing, guys, you have to try and not jump off from too high a distance, because you will definitely die by doing that, and then you'd have to start over from a certain point in the map, wherever the last autosave location was. That's one of the suggestions I made to the team, is that yeah, for the sake of, you know, not having to redo a part of the map, like I said, this is quite a large map. This is quite a large scale map for a demo, really, you know, and so one has to just run and go get that piece of floral material over there. And so, you know, these are the things, all these materials that I collect, all the collectibles as well listed in your Astro Tool. If you die at a certain space, wherever it is, and you reload again to wherever location on the map, whatever you collected that have not been saved will disappear, so you have to go recollect them again. And so obviously to have that as part of the main game probably will be a big issue. But I know with, correct me if I'm wrong, but with Deliver Us Mars and Deliver Us the Moon, whatever piece of collectible I'm referring specifically within the Astro Tool, the list of items, they do save, so that if you reload to a specific spot, they remain. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, I can be wrong, but I believe almost factually that this is the case. So you didn't have to go back and collect them again. You can reload levels, because obviously the saving system of the games in its full glory allows you to get collectibles. You can change levels, you can change chapters, go and collect what you might have missed, and then change back to whatever level you currently are at as to progress the further parts of the game. If you play on PC and you have the Steam copy of the Reverse the Moon, the Reverse Mars, this is especially important for your Steam achievements. So if you are planning on getting a certain achievement within a game, especially for collectibles, whatever the case may be, having to reload to certain parts of the map and having that collectibles disappear, now you have to go recollect them again. It's obviously very repetitive. And so for the sake of getting those achievements on your Steam profile, or trophies, whatever platform you're playing on, whether it be a console or PC, one has to be able to find them. And obviously what's nice about the previous games, the Reverse Mars and the Reverse Moon, that saving system is definitely in place. So if you do die or fall down a cliff and you have to restart, whatever you collected it stays there, it's saved. You don't have to go recollect them again. Anyway, so one of our objectives is to investigate the outpost. So we haven't been able to access a certain part of this building before, so we are going to do just that. Let's see if we can interact with this. Yes, so the radio is active. So let's see what we can gather over here. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so let's listen closely to that. That seems to be... one dot and 4 dashes. Let's have a look at our collectible over here. 1 dot 4 dashes, so that's 1. It sounds like it's like the other way around now. 1 9. Three dots, 2 dashes. Sorry, 3 dots. Yeah, 2 dashes. So that's 193. One more. Okay. 193 2. So 1932. Am I correct? Let's have a look. 1932. Whoops, that's a bit of a weird scenario. 1932. Oh, there we go. And so I just thought I ought to mention that these codes are randomized, so every time you have to restart the level, you have to... there's a new code that you have to get. Well, this is amazing. We've found our wheels, definitely. Our rover that we are gonna definitely need. Can't find anything more. I believe there's a case at the back over here. Generator. Wonder what that's used for. Whoopsie daisy. You know, one funny thing about this laser, it's you know, you're able to open up padlocks or latches on these boxes. It would have been funny if you were able to just like do like a well, you can't do it now. There's nothing left to prompt the laser cutter to be activated. Would have been funny to just cut right through the box to have it open, but yeah. It's just a little bit of a flow joke. Okay, so we have gathered some materials. We've been able to identify that there is a generator, but we aren't able to power up our rover. And so we need a specific item to do that. But before we do that, we need to go and find an unexpected friend as part of our objectives. And we'll go do just that. I think we might have found our friend. And there's also a tag right next to it. Sorry, I meant to say him or her. Didn't mean to say it. My apologies. So it seems we found our mysterious Doris Torad partner. We've crash landed on this unknown planet. And as we can clearly see from our explorative efforts so far, there have definitely been inhabitants before us in this case. So we have a pathway over this river. Obliviously for a very specific reason. You can see something over there. Let's go get it. And there's one over there as well. Hold on, before we do that, there's another part of this map that before of having to play the first round of playthrough, I previously thought it was inaccessible. But I've identified two ways to get there. Oh, yeah, let's go get that piece of sediment. Salty sediment. I've identified two ways to get there. If we travel up along the river path, you can start seeing the magnitude of this map. I mean, we've been by what is referred to as the tower location, and then there's a larger portion of the map further down that we haven't traveled on yet. But further down the river, if we cross the river, we are able to find another path. Okay, so it seems we have some new set of crafting materials, in this case identified as saprolite. That seems to be a native element to this specific planet. Can't recall on the periodic science table that these materials actually do exist on planet Earth. So I'm guessing it's native to this planet. But anyway, right now I'm kind of crossing borders probably unknown to most playtesters. Not saying that that is the case. We are gonna have to, I think, get on top of a part of this map, this mountain range, in order to get where I wanted to go. So I don't know if this is gonna be possible. I think. No, it's not. Okay, before we die, I think we need to rethink our route. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Now, as we go to certain summits where we are able to see our whole map, you can start getting an idea of how big this place is. I mean, for a demo, this is, like I said, quite a big thing. Okay, we need to be able to get past this point now, because a portion of the map is inaccessible otherwise. Yeah, so this is the part we need to remember, because it's easily, you can easily get yourself lost. Well, I need to get to this place because, ooh, there's some crafting materials we need to get. No worry, we will be able to come back here. There's just nothing here. We need to advance further down the river path. And right now you can see, okay, there is definitely a place to be explored beyond that tower location. I can already see some salty sediment lying at the coastline of that river path. There's some artifacting happening with my torchlight over there. Yeah, there's nothing here. I've already scoured this part of the map. There's nothing to be found from what I could see. But there is some crafting materials further up this river path, and we'll go there just now. Whoops, you see, that's the thing I was speaking about the gut punching feeling. You try to jump over a piece of branch or a piece of tree stump. You think you're gonna jump over it, but then, yeah, there's some weird glitching out happening there where you think you're gonna jump over it, and then you're really just flying into it with your gut. With my first couple of playthroughs, I've been, just to try to get a sense of the scale of this map, I've kind of just taking it section by section at a time by traveling across the outskirts of the map, and then advancing more inward toward the rest of the map. Okay, so there's nothing further down that path. I would just make a little U-turn. I believe there is some material somewhere. I think there's a native, yeah, right over there. So we'll just get that. I don't think there is anything more. Hold on, I think. No, there's nothing there. Once we find our AAC unit, we'll be able to find, or well, at least explore a little better. Because the one thing that I've adopted to do is use... Oh, there we go, that's what I was looking for. Got it. Is use my AAC companion in order to scout the area, like drone style. You know, you want to be able to use something such as a piece of technology like that in order to scout the area. Since you're now in like a large portion of a map, everything is kind of mountainized, if I can call it that. There's a path to follow up this route, right? I'm not going to go there right now. Well, we can go, but we will need to walk down to a certain part on the map. But it's too high up to jump down, so we'll have to come back down. Yeah, you see, this is now where things getting a little high up. We need to be careful before we fall down and kill ourselves, I think. Yeah, this is the original route to travel to go back. If you do follow this path, you have to be very careful to not... If you do fall, make sure you fall that it's just not too high. Okay, so I will just follow this path back. There we go, I think we're back in the zone we wanted to be. Yeah, what I was going to say is just when you fall, make sure you don't fall from a high distance. Because you might well kill yourself by doing that. I think we can go down here somewhere, that's fine, fair enough. And yeah, there's definitely something in the air. We have some climactic music playing over there. Okay, so there is some more materials within this vicinity to gather, but first and foremost, let's go get our AAC companion. And we need to do that very carefully, because it seems like we have an entity in our midst. I haven't seen it. But to be honest, I don't think physically it is here. Although you can hear it. Look, if it were here, you probably would have been dead already. Let's just put it that way. But it gives you enough of a kind of, not really a jump scare or anything of that nature, but it does give you shivers down your spine. There is another Eden tag right over here. Hori Adelba. Let's see how far along we are. Yeah. So the hologram we need to get is the one that is at the unfortunate remains of the astronaut. We were at the foot of the river. And then there is another piece of undiscoverable further down the line. And that is that shiver in my spine I was referring to. Just need to be very careful. Yeah, there's a reason why we cannot go further on this piece of rock. I guess the guys, for the demo's sake, try to orchestrate this piece of the map to make you follow a specific route. Oh. Yeah, I believe you can hear that. If we were back on Earth right now, we'd probably say we'll be entering the lion's den right now. But this is a different beast entirely. So, let's do that. Yeah, and so we've got some bear cubs. Yeah, and we have our RC companion. Right now, at this point, you probably feel inclined to run your butt off, but yeah, I think we can explore some more. Oops. Now, actually, you see, now the thing is, we cannot do this now. We'll have to come back here. That's what I wanted to do now. I cannot gather any further materials, so it's fine. I'm not going to come back here, but there is some things to be gathered in this vicinity still. I cannot grab them right now because of what I have currently in my hand, which is this ASE unit. See, there's another piece of material over here, and I believe there's a box also. Yeah. Okay, so well, that's weird. Okay, we can't do that. We just cannot use our laser. And I can hear Mother Bear somewhere over here. So we're going backwards where we came from now. But I just wanted to mention there is a piece of, well, there's a box that we can open up close by. But we cannot open it because we aren't able to use our laser. I think it's on this. Somewhere over here. Cannot get on top of that. So that's fine, I think. Yeah, it's not over here. Yeah, I think it's further down. So, just to mention, I'm playing this game in a way that is, you know, kind of out of sequence for certain instances. Yeah, you can hear that bear is definitely in the vicinity. I just want to be able to find that box I was referring to earlier. I'll get on top of this rock for some reason. Yeah. I think. Where is that box? I just walked past it. It's not going to be there. Whoops! Be careful. Like I mentioned, at high distances, they do tend to kill you. Yeah, I don't think it's over here. No, it's not there. There it is, there it is. I was looking for it, but I don't think we'll be able to open it. But if you do open it, there is some material in there anyway, so now we can progress. I think we need to just get out of here before we are stricken with a very angry mother bear. Or male bear, depending on the situation. I guess it's a mother bear since there is some cubs. Pardon me, cannot remember any of my, I would say, grouping titles when it comes to like a litter of kittens, pack of wolves. Is it a cub of bears? I cannot remember. I know it's a cub of lions. Yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can remember from a literature perspective. There is still a lot of material left to gather in this vicinity. I'm going to try and get all of them. But we really need to get back on our sequencing path so that we can go and repair our AAC unit. Right now it is, as you can see, pretty much still broken. We will not be able to use it as such. I've seen something right over there. This is what will make your companion, your AAC companion unit very much helpful, because you will be able to fly it to a certain height, scout the area for some materials and progress further. That's the thing that I've sort of suggested to the team, is that with Liberus the Moon and the Liberus Mars, the distance in any given direction the AAC unit is able to travel in is roughly 15 to 20 meters before the image starts blackening out. Well, that has been known for the prior two games, which is fine, but in this use case you've got a larger open area, and I think in this case, since this is aimed at being another solitary, they're going back to the roots. Going back to the roots where it all started. In a case like the Liberus the Moon, you only had your AAC companion to be be there for some kind of sanity. Take away the lonely space of having to be alone. And this is fine in this aspect as well, but now you're having to scout or, take in this large, immense map. And so, as you can see, every piece of object is heightened. You've got that boulder sitting there, you've got this tree stump sitting over here, you've got the woods, you've got everything that's kind of blurring your vision, which I believe is purposeful. But still, you would need some kind of help in order to see where you're going, and wherever you're going, what is in that place you are going, in terms of objects, in terms of material. So having an AAC unit, I actually forgot to collect something over there. Having an AAC unit in order to fly up to a certain height, in order to scout the area, this is actually something helpful. It helps in its current nature to a certain degree, but that limitation, that control distance, is very limited. As I mentioned, there is an indicator that shows you to how far you can go. Like it actually shows you the amount of distance in meters you are able to travel. And so, yeah, it is slightly limited, because what I'm having to end up doing is disengage the use of the AAC, and then I have to run to a certain distance, and I have to engage the AAC unit again, fly up to a certain distance, and see if I can see anything further. If I cannot, then I'll have to disengage again. If that were to be able to have a control distance of, I would say, 30 to 40 meters, it will make things much more helpful. You'll travel further and have your ASC unit scout a piece of the map in advance before you go travel there, which will make things much more clear. You know what to expect when you get there. Anyway, let's repair this thing. There we go. Hello. That's awesome. Right, let's continue on. Let's go and view our hologram. And so you can see that's the reason why we need to get this thing in a bear cave. Because the bears stole it. Okay, so right now I'm gonna advance back to the tower area because there's some collectibles over there and also some materials to gather. Well, that's quite a large piece of map. There's two ways to enter it from what I've identified. You can either go back the route that we've initially entered it in, or there's another route via the mountainside. I'm going to go back the original route we've traveled in, but we'll come back the way of the mountainside to explore that region as well, because there is some crafting materials to be collected there as well. So let us do this. I'm not going to go back via that. I know that's just a way to showcase the mechanics, but I'm just going to go a quicker route here. Whoops, let me see. Oh, okay, we don't want to do that. Okay, that happened to be many a times. I actually had to be very careful. Actually, sometimes he jumps to certain distance so high that he jumps all the way back down. Sometimes almost killing him, not entirely, but yeah. Now this is the part where the AC unit comes in very handy, because you can now go up. You can actually explore the area, but right now you can see there. Having a look at my distance meter, you can see we're at 16 meters. And that's where things starts to get a little noisy and a little dim. As soon as we get to 20, it's barely visible. But the nice thing of having this noise level, I mean, you can actually imagine with your common like first person or third person shooter games where you have night vision, right? You have that ability to be able to identify things in the distance. Now this kind of serves as like kind of a night vision kind of thing, because a lot of the crafting materials, see there, a piece of rock highlights itself, and so this is easily a nice way also to use the ASE in its blackened, noised out state to identify crafting materials within the vicinity, because sometimes having it you know, in a clear vision like this, you cannot easily see that material. Anyway, let's go there. Some of the stuff becomes visible once we approach it. Let's go get that piece of floral over there. There we go. Yeah, there is a few, but I'm gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna run all over the map. I'm gonna take it one part of the map at a time, and so we're just gonna run along. Like I said, because this is a widened piece of the map at this point in time, we're just gonna run along the side of it, rather than running all over it like you're a lost dog. You know, so in that way we get to complete section by section at a time. And like I said, in trying to find that collectible that I mentioned was infindable or unfindable or not finding it, I don't know what to explain. I mean, I'm referring to the collectible that's sitting after this hologram that I said I couldn't find. I've been having to do this all over the map, where I run by it section by section, and I also believe if we look at our crafting materials, yeah, there is a piece of crafting material in this area that we are gonna need in order, it seems, to be able to craft one of our collectibles. I'll show you once we get there. Let's have our ASE go up to a certain distance again so we can see if there's anything we've missed. No, it seems like there's something over there. You see, the thing is with this part of the map, something like the rover would have come in very handy. But unfortunately, one is not able to advance with your rover to this point. You have to do this whole section entirely on foot. And so that's what makes the possibility of finding everything there is to find within this section of the map even harder, because they are easily missable. See, once again, I'm doing what I said I was not gonna do, and I'm running zigzaggy. But Yeah, some of the stuff is easily missed, so I'm just gonna... Yeah, I'm actually doing what I don't really need to do. I'm kind of gathering all there is to gather from a crafting material perspective. But I'm just trying to do this to give you a sense of scale of this map. I don't think... You see, this is an open area of the map, and so using the ASE purely just to scout the area is kind of useless, because you can kind of see in the distance from being on foot, and so this doesn't really serve a best purpose. But I'm speaking about areas that are kind of isolated, and you kind of have these high up boulders and mountainsides where you cannot visibly see in front of you, and so an ASE unit will obviously be very handy then. There's one over there. We'll get that when we come back. There is another box in this area. I think the time is perfect for us to get it. So let's just get one. We need to get over here. Yeah, so we've gathered some materials, alloys and sediment. What I wanted to say is that something like your ASC unit will come in very handy for being in parts of the area. Like this now, for instance, you have this tree stumps in the way, and you can quickly use the ASC unit in order to just scout certain areas, and you can see there's some crafting materials to be once. You see, being on foot like this makes it harder to see that. And that's why I was so adamant about the control distance. You know, having it being 15 to 20 meters is kind of not sufficient in a case like this, where they've adopted a open map, open area, like, you know, open world style playthrough. So we are approaching one of the Easter eggs I was referring to, and we have a frog. Now we can grab this, and as you can see, it mentions that if you press F you can collect it. But this is not collectible. This is not a collectible, because if I do press F and I do collect it, it goes back to its original spot, and nowhere in the list that frog does show up as something. Though, funny thing is though, the Earth Sign infants, if you look at the bear cubs, they are part of your collectibles because you were able to scan them. The frog was almost like a piece of object you could just grab, and I can grab it again and again and again. And now the collect is turned into a put back prompt. Now I can put it back, but still I cannot see that it shows up as a collectible. And so, having to struggle the way that I've struggled with the one collectible that I couldn't find, firstly I thought that the frog was that missing collectible, and there might have been some kind of glitch in the game where that frog did not show up or save as a collectible. But it might just well be an intended case for this frog to just be an Easter egg and not a collectible, where they did mention this on stream, that this is an Easter egg of some sorts. So yeah, so now we're going to advance on the opposite side of this map, back the way we came. Another gut punching. Oh, that was a... What, I'm feeling sorry for this guy now. He's got like 3 gut punches over there. Anyway, so we can just travel back the way we came, but now on the opposite side as to cover more parts of the map. I believe I have, yeah, there's that crafting material, these flora and fauna, whatever they are vast and they are abundant. I think they are even more abundant than any material that you can get within the parts of this demo. We have just actually obtained a very important piece of material, which is this night foil, and we are now able to craft a specimen which is referred to as the floral specimen. And having a look at our collectibles, it forms part of the collectibles as part of the Keo 394E section. So there's 2 more left, and I'm guessing that the 2 remaining materials to be crafted is that. And I think we can craft the second one. Yeah, we can. Let's have a look at that. Yes, and so there's 1 more left, so that's good. We have that now. We still have 1 more to go, so we need to gather some of these materials. To be honest, I haven't been able to collect that either. That last sediment, that last piece of specimen, whatever it is. because I've completed this demo to a point where I actually didn't know you were able to craft those. Did I just run? But no, I did get it actually. I didn't know you were able to, when you go into your Astro tool under this section over here, you were able to craft these materials. I didn't know they were collectibles to be crafted. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, we've kind of figured that out now. The ever-emitting light that kind of drives us in our search to determine if this is a habitable planet. Before we go to where we need to go, there is some collectible, I mean not collectibles, there is... Okay, I think we're going back to... Whoops. Don't worry, the rock is not going to kill you. It might just fall on you and kill you, but in this case I feel it's safe. There is some material to be gathered at this point. We'll get where we need to get momentarily. But as a form of tactic, I think we just need to find what there is to find in this vicinity. Let's see here quickly. Yeah, you see. In the distance you can see there is an hologram to be viewed, which we'll get to just now. Also, another suggestion that I actually thought of right now, well not right now, I actually did think about it yesterday actually. If you activate your ASC unit like this, right? And he's flying around to view the open area, you can hear him making all these kind of sounds. I don't know if you can hear him, you know, see here, did you hear that? He just made it. But what would have been cool is that if they kind of had this sound that this ASC unit is making, almost like he's like a little dog, you know, or a cat purring or whatever the case may be, wherever you point to. So if you can see there's a piece of floral to be collected, whatever you point to that is of interest, have the ASC unit make some kind of sound towards that. It's almost like he's like looking at it and he's like, yeah, he made it again. It's almost like he's looking at it and he's like thinking, oh, okay, there's something interesting, and he's prompting you as the astronaut to go there. Right now he's just doing the sounds at random, so you don't have any way of saying like, listen, is he pointing at something interesting, of value, of collectible, anything of that nature. He's just doing it at random, and so it leaves you to be able to figure out where you need to go on your own. I'm not saying that it needs to be done, but it would have, so since he's your helping companion, since he is there to help you, it would have been cool for him to do that, you know, to help you, since that is the purpose that he's serving. Anyway, that's just something that I've been thinking about, and other than that, I mean, it's already doing what it's doing in order to serve some kind of purpose. In this case, is to get into places that you cannot reach yourself, like flying high in the air, scouting the area from a certain distance. And right now we are reaching our limitation, and if we go any higher we will lose our visibility. And so it would have been lovely to have that distance be increased to a certain degree, so that we can make that a bit more of a helpful experience towards the player, especially in the size of this map. You can clearly see is quite large. Okay, so there is, I can see some salty sediments right over there. We'll get that when we go back, but right now we need to go get our collectibles that we are about to miss. So we have one over here. Thruster. For a seemingly missing vessel. Yeah, and so that's the thing I've been trying to think about as to how... Because there's a floor over there, I think there's another one over there. As to how they will incorporate this into the main story. This is the thing I keep on thinking about. This is a nice demo, this is a very amazing demo. But the story, you know, I cannot help myself but think like, what are they going to do with it? How is this going to tie into like the main game? What made the two games prior to this one, Deliver Us the Moon, Deliver Us Mars, so successful and so immersive and realistic is the story? You think by today's standards, you know, I mean by today's events, global events that's happening, we've got a lot of things happening. Wars being fought, and okay, before we go down there, I think there is a few crafting material to be gathered, which we've missed. What I wanted to mention is that there's a lot of global events happening that, oopsie daisy, that kind of speaks to what is going on in these games. And I am also, you know, I guess part of the statistic, if you want to call it that. To say that, you know, we as humanity, we need to get our crap together. We need to get our situation together because we are busy destroying ourselves. We are busy destroying our planet. Not having to protect what is supposed to be sacred, you know, what is supposed to be our home. And this is just my personal opinion, and we can go into debate about this, is that I feel that I'm guessing I'm just speaking in a third person over here, is that I guess you care about your life, I guess you care about your family. So why would you put their lives in jeopardy by destroying the only home that we can live on? This piece of rock is everything to us, you know? Why can we not work together to build together? Why can we not build together to create and innovate together? We are doing that to a certain degree, but most, if not a lot of cases, comes with a cost. Because we are able to so blindly sacrifice so much at the cost of... There's a piece of rock over there. At the cost of losing so much instead of gaining anything out of it. In this case, we are destroying our planet with amounts of carbon emissions and pollution. And for those of you that are into climate change, I'm pretty sure you've heard of The Inconvenient Truth and The Inconvenient Sequel. I think those two are documentaries you are better worth your while to go and have a look at. They are a bit outdated currently based off of the statistics that they've kind of provided within those documentaries, but they are still relevant to today's standards. I am actually, yeah, there we go. I want to get that salty sediment. But just having a look at, you know, how we as humanity and the planet that has deteriorated over the course of decades, and only the last 50 years alone, I would say we have so much we need to make up for. If there is any chance that we are able to save this planet from destruction and destroying ourselves, we need to do that. And this is where I tie in with these games, is that ties in so synonymously with what we are experiencing today from a realistic perspective. Is that is why I love these games. That is why I want to give the team at KeokeN all credit due to them, because they've thought... Oh, be careful. It's because they've thought of something so profound, so down to earth, and so amazing, you know, that I cannot think of any other way that you can depict games in such nature, especially when it comes to space exploration. And I want to give credit where credit is due. I feel that they are heavily underrated. I feel that they're heavily undercredited. And I believe that they need to be given the recognition they so well deserve by having created these games as in the way that they've created them. I think there's I don't know, there's something over here of value. Whoops. That we might have missed. Yeah, there we go. So this is actually not even easily spottable, easily, you know, viewable. I was just here at some stage trying to get an overview of the map, and I was standing here, I'm like looking at down, like, is there something to be collected over here? And I realized it's one of that, what's that funny name, what do you call that? Oops, sorry. The saprolite material, worn and withered, this putrid rot recounts a long history of erosion. So yeah, I didn't really even realize I was standing on it until I looked down and I saw, like, wait, why is this not seen? So it's kind of sitting below the face of the rock over there. Okay, so now for a disclaimer, we've been able to collect everything we were able to collect in that part of the map from the tower's perspective. Like I said, I couldn't find that collectible that I've mentioned. If we look at our Astro tool right now, the last collectible in that area is called the payload. That's the hologram that we viewed. The next collectible, that's the one that's missing. That's the one I cannot find. With all the efforts that I've tried to do, I cannot find it. Because the collectible right after that sits at the other side of the map. Just spoiler alert, that's where it sits. There's a cabin down the road that we need to travel to, and we actually need to go and find our jumper cables somewhere in that vicinity that will be used to connect the generator to the rover in order to power it so we can drive out of here. We have been able, if we stand right at the outpost, let's just go get a quick better view of the place. I did mention that we can get on top of the roof, but there's not oh goodness, they're just trying to do this again. There we go, there we go. There's nothing on this roof except for solar panels, nothing of interest that you can collect. Pardon my, I think if you can hear my daughter in the background, they are running around in my house. But anyway, just to get a better view, we have collected everything we need to collect in that vicinity. We have collected everything we needed to collect in that vicinity where we got the AEC unit from in the bear cave. We now need to advance further down this road to get a few more items. As you can see, we have our first floral crafting material over here. Another one of the saprolites. How do you say this again? Saprolite. Saprolite. I'm going to be careful at this part of the map because you can fall down and you will end up killing yourself. But there is certain material to be gathered at the side of the map as well. Oh, there's another one of those saprolites. I don't think I'll ever get that wrong again. But let's just get a quick view of the place with our AC unit, right? So there's floral over there. I think... yeah, there's a few of them over there. Let's just go get them. Okay, so as you can see in the distance we have the cabin that I referred to earlier approaching. We'll go there momentarily, but there is some material to be gathered still. I'm going a bit crazy with collecting all the materials here, but I just wanted to give you kind of a full scope as to what we are able to find. And we have our salty sediment resting on the bottom of the bedrock over there. I mean the side of the river pathway. I think there's one more up this path. Bear in mind, I'm going further than I need to go right now for the sake of what I need to get my, I need to get the jumper cables. I'm just going to scan that. There is a river structure that we are able to also scan this kind of telescope. But bearing in mind this is only part of the next area we are going to advance in when we do get there. Okay, Okay, I'm not going to run all the way to that end now, but I think there is a... Whoops. A rock to be gathered all the way over there. I think we can grab it once we do reach this point with our rover. There's a floral over there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there is... yeah, there we go. Another one of those saprolite materials hanging in the air. That's the one thing I found funny about this spot, is every time I come here I realize I have to jump to actually try and get it. Well, I can stand there at a certain point and then I can grab it. But I felt as though I needed to jump. Not that you need to do it, but it makes you feel that way. So let's just advance into our... There's also a few things that I've spotted over here. You can get, you see these almost like, I don't know, it's almost like there's like a vehicle of some sort, invisible vehicle, because this looks like that kind of canopy handles you get when you open up a canopy to like a pickup vehicle, pickup truck. I don't know what this is, but it's definitely objects, and you cannot get past it, so there is some kind of collision happening within the code of this demo. So there is something. I don't know what this is. I have seen this, I just couldn't make an explanation of it. But yeah, that's one of the weird things that I've even seen as well. Guessing the guys at KeokeN can kind of explain in one of their live streams, maybe possibly, as to what that is. Maybe they don't know about it, maybe they do know about it. But as mentioned, this is just a demo and there could be those kind of glitches happening. And we have found what we came here for. And let's just grab what we can. It's not much to gather. Now this is the collectible I referred to. So now we grab this. So yeah, I'm not gonna pause here for too long. But this is one of the Astro Tool collectibles you can grab. Now see, that we just grabbed is, we grabbed a Astro Tool collectible called Revenants. Right between the Revenants and the payload. The payload is the one right at the top of the map where we were past the tower, right? That's where I refer to as the missing collectible. I cannot find it for the life of me. Like I mentioned, I scoured the entirety of this map. I cannot find it. And so anything past the Revenants collectible is now advancing further into the game itself. So there's nothing to find before that. Everything you end up finding as collectibles is beyond this point onwards. There's nothing before it. So that's the thing I've kind of narrowed down as a possible collectible to be within this vicinity of the map, or even further back. It will actually not be in the vicinity of the bear cave, because those collectibles have been all accounted for, from what I could say. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. You can see our two collectibles under the Kaleo mineral container on the floral specimen bundle is hanging off of the side of our torso over there, the one over there behind the right buttock, and the one on the left there on the thigh bone. I'm guessing the third one will come in there somewhere once you do craft it and once you do have it form part of your collectibles. Anyways, the stream is turning into, I think, 1.5 hours now. I don't want to end up having it being too long, but I just wanted to give you kind of a comprehensive full scope of what this demo comprises of. Let's mount our jumper cables. Oh yeah, we first need to craft it. I forgot about that. Whoops. AC, sorry, I will call you when I need you, buddy. Sorry about that. Yeah, now we need to power up our generator. There we go. Wow, we are able to drive it. So another crazy thing you can do is if you get out of the rover, you can actually jump on the hubcaps of the wheels, and you can kind of, like the quarter panels, and you can jump on top of the roof of the rover. And this you can do to your advantage to get a view of where you are. So you can kind of see the next place to be advanced in, and I think we found everything we needed to follow. I believe there's a rock right there that we... I don't know if we can grab that, but let's go and have a look. I might be mistaken. Oh no, it is actually. Let's just grab and get out of here. Whoops, another gut punch. Yeah, there's nothing over here, so I thought at first there might be something, because it looks quite like an interesting spot. Another little glitch I found is that there's an opening of the fence, but you cannot pass it. You have to go through the main gate. And there's also a little, I would say, gathering of water, which is quite pleasant to see. And then there is a buried dustbin of some kind, a buried trash bin, which cannot be opened. I also first thought that maybe there's a collectible in there, but doesn't seem to be. The reason why I'm so on about the collectibles is that I find that as one of the most interesting ways to explore the map. Wherever there's a collectible, there's probably a piece of the map that you haven't explored before, and so that's why I'm actually very fascinated with the concept of collectibles. Coming in at a bit of an angle here, guys. It's quite interesting to explore parts of the map like this. Terminal. By finding any and all collectibles that there is to find in the vicinity of the map. I think there's a piece of foil or an alloy over here. What is this? Why can't we grab it? Oh, now we can. Okay. I like this sneak mode. Reminds me of the Hitman games I used to play. The World of Assassination trilogy is one of the best games of Hitmans I've ever played. I think we get a bit nostalgic if we go back to some of the older games like Hitman Blood Money, Hitman Contracts. I actually love those games. Bear in mind we can actually enter the premises through this way, but there's another way. Let's just go that way. And there is also a Astro tool within this camper van. See the remnants of those that used to live in this area. Now you can clearly see the collectibles are starting to tally up past this one that is missing. Look, I'm all ears for those that do find it. I am just unable to find it. I just don't know where it is. Yay, well, what was that? That's the first time I've ever seen that. How did I do that? That looked quite... Goodness me. Why was I not able to see that before? And I've played these games like thousands of times. Okay, so there's another Eden tag. And that's the one that has now been missing. This one over here. Yeah, and so... This one seemingly, look, you've got the same icon as an Eden tag sitting over there, and it's undiscovered, and it's missing, and it's avoiding me. I just don't know where it is. Sorry about rambling about it too much, I just can't find it. I think that's everything to find in this area. There's nothing to find at the back of the area, of the building. But we can run around it, just for interest's sake. And also, just to mention, we cannot climb that ladder. I've already tried. I think it looks like I'm a bit disoriented, but there is things to gather. Oh, and this water tower. I think it's a storage silo, a water tower of some sort. It's also a collectible. Why? Oh, we cannot run past this. That's weird. I've never seen this before, because another kind of collision issue. It seems like they just took a tower and smack dab in the middle of this vicinity, but you cannot kind of, as expected, run through it. Anyway, let's just grab whatever we can find in this area. There is a little pond just beyond this little hill that contains some salty sediments to find. Let's just use our AAC again to see. Yeah, okay. We almost missed out on a piece of plant-based material. There's our salty sediment. Marshland silt. Okay, so that's what that's referred to. So the salty sediment and the marshland silt is pretty similar, whereby you also find it at the banks of the riversides, but they are different in nature, I guess, in material, because they actually do look different as well. The salty sediments are kind of like a white, salty type of color, whereas the marshland silt, they have these greenish type of moss texture to them. Okay, so there's another salty sediment. Yeah, this background music is really starting to raise my neck hair a little, because it's definitely prompting you to go in a certain direction. And there's the marshland silt. To explore more of what you have not explored before. Did I miss something over here? No, I didn't. Yeah, so we are about... Let's just go this way quickly, because there is a part of the... Oopsie daisy. There's a part of this piece of this area that we haven't kind of gone before, and it's within this telescope. There's not much of nothing much of interest over here. If I were not to scan this before, like I did when I stood outside the fence, I could have just stood inside here, look up, and then I would have been able to scan it. Because it seems that the collectible is collected once you actually look up to the telescope itself. Because that's what the collectible is for, or what it represents. In any case, we have to now do something in order to build a little bridge. And how are we gonna do that? Oops. It seems we have something of what represents a control panel, which we would need to have our AAC unit. Well, it seems it automatically interacted for us. I thought we were gonna have to engage with it with our AAC. Anyway, let's just turn this barge. Call it that a barge? So we'll have to turn this thing around. Kind of side swipe it a little. And so you have your reticle in the middle over there. That's your target. You know what I really miss when I think about the Deliveros to the moon, especially with the Deliveros Mars, is like flying your spaceship. Obviously launching a spaceship, any kind of launch is epic, but the manner of docking your spaceship to any kind of entity is amazing. So this is what that feels like, and that's what I really miss. Well, I say miss, it's just that I haven't played the games for about a month or two, I think, ago. Started journeying on this epic path of finding everything there is to find. And there we go, I think we've kind of... yeah, there we go. So what I meant to mention was that I kind of undertook the the challenge of finding there everything is defined for the sake of building up my achievements within my Steam profile. That was quite a challenge because there was a lot to do. But that was where things became even more interesting, because there's things that you started doing in the game you haven't done before via trying to achieve one of your achievements. So here we advance now into the last part of this map. This part is actually quite large. There's a lot of stuff to be collected over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of my rover. I'm going to try and get what I can in the close proximity of the rover on foot. I'm going to drive on as I start to get a bit out of scope of the map. Just get a bit of a view of the map over here. So there's that. Just get down there. And right now, within this vicinity, there is some planes that you have to be careful of to not jump too high, because you can still end up killing yourself. But with the vast majority of this plane, it's pretty flat terrain. So there's not much ways you can end up dying. Let's just drive a little further, because we're now kind of out of scope for what we now need to cover further up the map. Yeah, there's one over there. Should try a little bit. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. Am I running in the right direction? Yes, we are. Look, I'm sure that I've missed out on quite a few other floral materials within this vicinity. And other parts of the map we've already explored, but I think we've kind of reached the point where we've gathered as much as we can, because we still need to be able to craft our missing collectible. I don't know how we were able to kind of do that, because to be honest, I haven't done this prior with my prior playthroughs of this map and this game, this demo, and so I haven't been able to find what I will need to find in order to craft those collectibles. And so I guess we are here together to find out if we are going to be able to do that as we play along. We've got another riverbank approaching, and I think there is some of the salty sediments in this vicinity. Yeah. Got this marshland silt. Okay, we can use the rover to get to those vicinities. I don't want to end up wasting time on foot, but there is parts that we need to. There is certain places to gather some more materials. Now, having a look at this demo, something I want to comment on. The size of this map, like I said, is enormous. It's quite large for a demo. Now my question is targeted more to the actual full game, what their idea of an open world is going to be like when they start implementing this into the fully fledged main game. I wonder how big things are going to be then. Just to put things into perspective, if you think about my hardware, my system is comprised of a 13900K Intel i9 based CPU. I've got a 3080 Ti GPU. I've got 32 gigs of RAM, 3600 CL18 gaming kit. I think it's yeah, it's a Corsair. Irrespective of what it is, I'm just referring to the specs alone. If I had to now pull up my MSI Afterburner to have an overlay of what is going on here with my hardware, you can actually see this map is loaded quite a bit. I mean, you'll notice there's no loading screens, there's no loading from one level to the next. So we actually need to remember where our rover is. We need to get lost to. We have to go find the rover again. But what I wanted to say is that what I found is that what is loaded in memory is quite a large portion. I mean, you've got this map, it's quite large. My RAM caps out about 16 gigabytes. Half of my RAM is actually already consumed when I open up this game, when the maps have already loaded in its full state. That is what's so crazy about this whole thing, is that this is just a demo, and I know there is some optimization that can happen from a software perspective, but I mean, just to think that the size of this map alone is what consumes half of my RAM kit. Where the hell is the rover? Did I not drive into the oblivion and not remember where I were? Hold on, we choose our companion. That's what it's here for. Now see, this is the thing where I refer to just the distance. It's what is kind of killing me. Oh, I see it. I see it. There it is, way up in the distance. Would have been very helpful to have the AAC unit reach a certain height that is high enough for you to be able to like see, there you need to go, there you need to go. Anyway, so I think we found everything we needed to find in this part of the map. There's the other part as well. So that's why I'm saying what is loaded in memory is crazy. Not crazy in a bad way, but crazy in this. Oh goodness, we've kind of missed one over there. Crazy in the scope of how big this demo is, as opposed to how big the actual game can eventually become when the team eventually starts working on it. Goodness, we've kind of missed quite a lot of. I realized we've sort of just scanned through everything, but yeah. If you really take your time to do this, you'll end up finding quite a lot of material. Yeah. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, we found everything we needed to be found in this area, and it's quite repetitive as you go throughout the rest of the map. There is still the climax to be reached. Okay, so this part we've already explored it. Let's see if we can get past this tree stump. The salty sediments, I think we need to keep a lookout for, because they are situated along the entire length, or side, I would say the circumference of each riverside. Just to know. I think there is. No, there's not. Yeah, I've already been here. Yeah, there's nothing there. Just have a look if the AAC will be able to help us. Yeah, so I think there it must be somewhere on the other side of the riverbank. We'll only be able to get there once we travel there by rover. If you look at this playthrough, you rewind about 10 seconds from now, before this part, you'll be able to hear that ASE sound again. So it's quite interesting to see. Okay, there's the sediment. Quite interesting to hear that for the sake of personality for the ASE, it's got its own sound, but it would have been quite cool to have that sound do something other than to just make random sounds. If you were to engage your ASE and it makes a sound, it's actually making a sound as a response to see, oh, okay, it's actually seeing something that you yourself are not seeing. And so you'll be able to use that as a means of going where it has seen something and then going to see what it is on about, collecting whatever, or yeah, seeing what the commotion is about. Okay, so there's some stuff to be gathered in this vicinity as well, so yeah, once again, that's quite a large portion of the map to be just going there on foot. So this is where the rover does come in handy. See, the thing is with the player though, I remember with Kathy, character that you played with in Deliver Us Mars, if you sprint, look, we're walking now, we're kind of jogging. And now we're jogging a little faster, but with Kathy, she ran as though she was sprinting, as though her life was on the line. And so on a large map like this, you'd want to have that sprint capability as well, because I mean, I'm thinking, we are just jogging away. It's taking quite a lot of time to get where you want to go. And you're almost always dependent on your rover for distances such as this to be able to travel on and get where you want to go timeously, rather than wasting time. I wouldn't say waste time. I know we want to take in the scenery, but if you want to get there quick, get to where you want to go quickly, you are on a mission, and there's no time for looking around. Having something such as that sprint capability in its full glory, like it was with Kathy, will be very helpful. Because right now, like I said, we are just jogging away and we're going nowhere slowly. Oopsie daisy. That was like a half a gut punch right there. But that was like a shin punch. It kicked you in the shin. Okay, so we need to be careful right over here. We don't want to end up falling in the riverside. We cannot get back up again. We'll have to probably swim to wherever. I think, I haven't tested this, but if we were to jump in the river right now, we'll probably end up having the capability to swim. But we will need to swim forever to get where we wanted to get back onto the coastline again. So let's rather not do that right now. So I'm going in kind of a wrong direction here, but I'm just traveling further up this riverbank because there is stuff to gather. Just see, I think. Yeah, I don't think there is anything over here because we're just going back a certain distance and we are able to see and view our objective, but there's nothing much we can see. We just need to be careful not to fall down. Look, so as I've mentioned, I might miss a few things, and my intention was to like do a bit of a comprehensive playthrough to get everything there is to get, but for the sake of time and for the sake of feedback, I just want to be able to do this so that I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of be some kind of source of information for the guys at KeokeN, along with the rest of the guys that's actually playing this for the sake of improving this demo, so that when they do release it to the general public, I'm sure they'll be able to get this into a state that they are satisfactory. And so I've kind of spent quite a lot of time already just gathering crafting materials. But I can end up spending more time because there's quite a lot still to be gathered, I guess. And this is not speaking from a crafting perspective. Collectible wise, we kind of sorted. We still need a few further down the line. That missing one is going to bother me until Kingdom comes. But for now, I'm just trying to play this in a way that kind of showcases what the guys of KeokeN have come up with. This is a masterpiece already. Let me just compliment them on that. And this makes me very excited for what they are busy brewing up, especially with their limited capacity. And I'm right now just rooting for the success of this Kickstarter. Honestly, there's another... What is that? I don't think there's a salty cinnamon. That is a marshland salt. But as I mentioned, the Kickstarter is their main priority right now, and so I urge anybody viewing, I don't have a large audience, but I'm hoping that whoever views will find it in their heart to go and support them. Anything that you have to, you know, to support them with. I mean, there's a reward system that they do have on their Kickstarter campaign. And so whatever tier you fall in with, whatever you contribute, you will be able to receive an award of some kind. And bear in mind, there is risks involved that those rewards are not guaranteed based off of their personal and professional circumstances. Those disclaimers are mentioned within the campaign itself. But it sets you up to be, you know, excited for this journey along with them. I'm sorry, I'm just duck and diving out of this rover over here because I keep on thinking I'm seeing something and then it's not there. So what we're going to do is we're going to travel up the roadway to a certain point because there is some materials to be gathered. What I wanted to say was, please go and back them on Kickstarter. Go to Deliver Us Home on Kickstarter, go and find their campaign and back them. And you can do this with or without rewards. If you feel you just want to contribute a certain amount towards their campaign and you don't expect anything in return, you can even do that as well. So we have another one of those saprolite materials. Let's get up top a little higher so we can see if we can find anything within this vicinity. There's a marshland silt. There's one over there. Very dark, but I know they are there. I can clearly see the outline of their shape. I don't think there's anything back here. I don't recall anything being back there, but it's fine. We'll leave it for now. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. So, I think the goal of this demo is to establish a very, very high standardized baseline for what they want to try and accomplish with this game, with this project. And I feel confident in saying that they will reach that goal, but I think we need to support them as a community. We need to be able to support these guys. You know, they've put in their life into this work. They have heavily established their success within the last decade with their prior games, and they've won multiple awards. But aside from the award, they have really established a footprint within the games industry to the scale that they've been able to do it. And I feel they need the backing of the community. They need the backing of companies to be able to support them, people to support them. So I think it's worthwhile to go and having a look at the campaign, see what you can do, support them, and it will really help them. Right now we've kind of reached a point where we're almost done with this demo. So we have this so-called structure called the spire, and on the right hand side I haven't really traveled to that part, so let's go and have a look. But I believe there's nothing to be found over here, as I did see, I think, some of the other content creators played to this point and they couldn't. I thought for one we were able to advance past this point, but it doesn't seem we are able to. And for one, I thought I could maybe find my missing collectible, but I can't, so yeah. Oh, and we have... what do we have here? No, nothing. I thought... You see, the thing is now we need some materials to craft this sample. And we haven't found that yet, so... don't know if I... yeah, for the sake of time, I haven't really reached the point of the map where I'm able to collect that, so I might need to do another playthrough of this, but I just want to get done with this one for now as an initial attempt in order to get this done. Let's just drive back down this place again. I think just do one more scout of the area and see if we can find anything. just stop right here. There is a rock there, but I mean, it's not what we want. We're looking for something very specific. Oh, hold the phone. I think we just... No, we didn't. I thought we did. Okay. My bad. We need uranium. Oh no, sorry, crimson alluvium. All these funny names. But, I want to say that I wasn't the top of my class in physical science, but yeah, I think I have to remember more than this, because I know. Sorry, my daughter is looking for me right now. I'm coming now! Yeah, there's nothing here. I think we've used up the time we need to be able to get what we want to what we came here for, so let's just conclude this playthrough. Crimson Alluvian, where are you? Because that's literally the last piece of the puzzle in order to craft that last collectible under Keo. Okay, now this we need to make straight. It's not as like the first gate. We need to make sure we have all 6 wheels on this planes. There we go. Okay, so we're getting closer to the completion of our collectibles, but I don't think there's anything left to find within this vicinity concerning collectibles. Crafting materials maybe, but collectibles, they are getting all the more scarce. And like I said, I've exhausted my efforts in order to try to find that missing collectible, and I just don't know where it is. And like I mentioned, I thought for one that frog, which is referred to as an Easter egg, might be the missing collectible, but it does not save as a collectible, so it's probably not. The structure is quite huge. You can imagine this being, what, like 20 stories tall? Because this is kind of like a building of some sort. Well, it is a building, obviously, but I mean, if you had to liken this to any kind of structure, then this is very huge in scale. I don't believe there's anything in this area over here. We just need to be careful not to fall off this part of the map. And this is the part where, if we get down, I don't think we'll be able to advance further than this, because if we do fall, yeah, that's it. I cannot go any further. There's a collision happening here. I cannot go further than this. But this, I think, is where the illusion is created that the game has its potentials of going into oblivion with its different possibilities. Once again, I'm tying back into what the possible storyline can be, because I am very much looking forward to that. Now we've reached the first part where we need to have our ASC interact with it, with a keypad of some sorts, and here we need to be very careful. Yeah, that's what I did not want to happen, so we... okay, so we kind of got saved by an object over there, but we're gonna have to restart this somehow. because we were not, I don't know, this is the first time I actually landed on top of this. Yeah, okay, so we need to get off of here and just die. Oh goodness, are we stuck? Goodness guys, I think we are stuck. We're gonna have to reload this level. No, we're not gonna restart the whole game. Okay, sorry guys, I had to just reload where the last save was. Because yeah, I couldn't get back up that. So we have to get everything right in terms of timing, for obvious reasons. Okay, yeah, we're gonna die again, and so that's a shame. I was much better at this with the first round of playthroughs, I promise you that. Anyway, let's try this again. Oops, be careful. Right now, we need to be extra careful. Because there's a section coming where it's like crazy far how you need to jump. And then we need to be careful of this. Seems like electricity bars chasing you. Okay, we need to be very careful now. We need to run like crazy to get to this point. Right, now this is the part we need to be very careful of. So the trick, okay, so this is the part I always struggle with. The trick is with this is to jump as high as you can, and at the very last second, just as you're about to go down, you engage your double jump in order to make that jump. Otherwise it will not work. If you have to engage too early on the double jump, you will probably fall into the abyss right there. And you have to restart from where you actually last saved at the end of the rover. And so this is the place where we now kind of reached our climax. A Goldilocks planet. Investigate the beacon of light. We have reached that beacon of light. So what else is there left to collect? We only have a few more. And unfortunately we're on... Oh, we got it. We got it. Where did we get that though? We might have gotten it from that box earlier. That box we just got our last Eden Enterprises tag from. I think we might have gotten our Crimson Olivia material from that to craft that. So I think we have, yeah, we have all three our collectibles up top over there. We just need 3 more of the normal ones, but it's gonna be 2 more because the third one, as I mentioned numerous times, is just gone. I don't know where the lasers that is located. It seems like we have to crouch now and again to grab something. So that's... yeah, I think that's our last, well, second last, well, third last collectible. In this case, I'm just gonna call it the second last because, yeah, that other one is somewhere, and it seems like our last collectible is this hologram, which we need to decrypt, so let's do that. So it seems there's definitely some frustration happening over there. We cannot obviously hear what they're saying, but one can only interpret as to there is definitely some kind of distress happening. So right now we've reached the end of the demo. So this is where I sign off. And we are going to activate the signal tower right now. I want to thank you guys for joining in, and I'm really hoping that this game gets made. I really hope that first and foremost the Kickstarter is a success, and they really get the funding that they need in order to make this game, because I mean, they need this. Honestly, they need this. And as a community, I believe we need this as well, for some closure, to see what has happened after the events of Deliver Mars. We need Deliver Us Home. Goodness me, I'm in awe of what to expect, what to think, and I just want to give all the credit to the guys at KeokeN. You guys have managed to pull off a demo that is utterly out of this world, and I know it's early stages, but I know you guys are going to reach crazy miles with this. Good luck with that, and yeah, this is where I end this off. Thank you guys for joining in. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do not have a big following, but I would like to do more of this playthrough style walkthroughs. If possible, no commentary, because I try to make walkthroughs, not playthroughs, but I try to make walkthroughs. There's obviously a difference. Walkthroughs is obviously getting the full capacity and full potential of a given game in its glory, whereas with a playthrough, gameplay playthrough, whatever you want to call it at that point, just to get perspective of the person that is playing it and get some commentary going and hear someone's thoughts, independent thoughts about this game. So this is my thoughts, and I really like this demo so far. So good luck guys at KeokeN, Paul, Kun, Zander, Remco. Those are the 4 guys that are busy working on this demo, and all the efforts behind the Kickstarter, as they are the only 4 people that is busy working on this. And I wish them all the best with their efforts and their endeavors in making this a success. Thank you guys. Have a good one.